Hi guys, you're welcome to Nyeke Fashion. If today is your first time visiting this channel, kindly subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time we upload a new video. So in today's video, we'll be learning how to draft a princess dart bustier. If this is what you have interest in, keep watching this video and make sure you like the video and help me share. Let's get started. So as you can see, we have a pattern paper. I'm using a carbon paper in this case. So if you have your pattern paper, you could make use of it. I have two. First of all, we'll be drafting the front pattern on this. We have our marker, we have our ruler, our scissors, and also we have a tape rule. So make sure you have all this in place. And we also have our measurement. Okay. Now to begin with, we'll make use of our marker and ruler to straighten the edge. Okay. We'll rule a straight line. Make sure that the first line you're ruling, make sure that it's very straight. So we'll come down from the top by 1 inch like so, and I still mark it the same way here. Then I'll use my ruler to connect these two dots to obtain the first line, which is our shoulder line. Now from the shoulder line, I'm coming down by 10 inches. I will still mark it this way, 10 inches as well. Do note that I'm making these two marks so that the line should be straight. So this is the second line I'm ruling. So I place my tape starting from the shoulder line. I'll still measure down to under bust, which is 13 inches. I still mark it here again. And then I connect these two dots. Please make sure all your lines are straight. Then from the shoulder line, I still measure down again, like this. I measure down to 17 inches. I do hope you can see what I'm doing. That's from the shoulder line, okay? 17 inches. That's our waistline. Then let me label this line. This is our shoulder line indicated with SL. This is our bust line. This is our under bust line, that's UL. This is our waist line. So we now come to the shoulder line and mark out our neckline. I'm coming down by 4 inches. The depth, then the width, I'm marking 3 inches. I'll now connect these two dots. Okay. I'll be making use of this cuff, but if you don't have the cuff, you can always use your free hand to connect the dot. But for a beginner, I strongly recommend you get this cuff. So I connect the dot like this. So you can see from the measurement, our shoulder is 14 inches. Divided by 2, we have 7 inches. And I'll place my ruler from the beginning of the line here and mark out 7 inches. Then from that 7 inches mark, I come down by 1 inch to get our shoulder slope. I'm now connecting it to the edge of the neckline like this. So I'll be measuring from the shoulder slope down. Okay, so from here, remember, I'm measuring from the shoulder slope down to where 7.5 inches is. And how did we get the 7.5 inches? We divide our round arm into two, which was 15. We divided by 2, we got 7.5. Then I'll still mark it. So I indicated this as our CL, that is the chest line. Okay, I came down by 7.5 inches. So from this point, you now look at this place is 7 inches. Remember, our shoulder that was 14, we divided by 2. We now have 7 inches. I'll still mark it down like this on the chest line. And then I'll connect the 2 dots to make sure that the line is straight. So on our bust line, we'll now divide our nipple to nipple, which is 8 inches. We divide it by 2 and mark it like this. Make sure it's on the bust line. And take note of where I'm placing the tape. So divide by 2 and connect it like this using your ruler. So we now want to get our armhole cuff. But to get that, we now divide our bust, which is 36 inches by 4. We got 9 inches. And then we'll mark it like so on the chest line this time around. So from the shoulder slope to where we marked our chest line, which was 7.5, we divided by 2. So we'll mark it. And then on that mark, we come in by 1/2 inch. All this we are trying to get the cuff. So we'll now connect these 3 dots using our cuff. Like I said, always you can make use of freehand if you don't have this cuff. So I'm making sure that the 3 dots are well connected. So on this cuff now, I'll now measure it like this. And I have 9 inches. I will divide by 2. So I'm measuring again. Please, if there's anything you don't understand, you can pause and rewatch, or you kindly ask your question on the comment section. My DM is always open for such questions. So I now divided by 2. But before we connect it, we'll come down to the waistline. We'll be marking out our dart. So because this is a princess dart bustier, so from inside this side, I'll be marking 1/2 inch like this on the under bust line as well. So still on the waistline, on the other side, I'll be marking 2 inches as well. I'll now connect these 2 dots from the waistline up to the under bust line, then this one from the waistline up to the under bust line as well. So you can see how wide the dart is. So we'll now be connecting these dots, the end to the bust line using our cuff. Please, I am reiterating, Don't wait till you have all the tools in the world before you commence practicals. Please, you can always use your free hand. Okay. I'll now connect this one too. So I'll now go up a little by half an inch. This is to avoid obtaining a very pointed nipple to nipple. It wouldn't look good. So I'm coming up by half an inch like this. So we'll come back to this our armhole where we measured it and we got 9 inches. Then we divided by 2. So I'll now connect. You see, that was the center where I divided it by 2. I'll now connect it to our half inch that we marked earlier. So you pay attention to how I'm connecting it. So I will now be extending this line by 1 inch. Okay. Then I will extend it. So from this side, I will now come down like this by half an inch. Okay. Now mark the point. I hope you are seeing. I'll now connect it like this. Okay. Then on the other side, I'll still go up by half an inch as well. So after drawing the first line, we'll now go up and down by half an inch on both sides like this. Please, if you don't understand, always ask questions. I'll now connect the last line here using our curve down to where we marked our bust measurement. So let me now roll out this line. Okay, this central curve is no longer needed. It will be cut out. So now let me mark out this part. This is our dart that will also be cut off. Be cutting off. So remember that 1 inch I added is to make sure that the while joining it everything is intact. If you didn't go up by 1 inch, honestly the while joining the side it will be too short. So now we'll be imputing our measurement. 36 divided by 2 that divided by 4, sorry, is 9 inches. 9 inches plus 2 inches sewing allowance. Then we'll come down to the waistline. Our waist, which is 30 divided by 4, we have 7.5. I will now mark the 7.5. But remember we added a dart which is 2.5 inches. So we have to make provision for that. on the other side. So now after marking our waist, the waist we divide by 4. After marking it, we now add up 2.5 inches to substitute for the dart. Now then we still add 2 inches. You could add 1.5 inches or 2 inches for your sewing allowance, whichever one works for you, it's fine. So I'm going to connect the two lines like this, the two dots rather. So the first one is for our measurement, then the second line is for our sewing allowance. I always love to add my sewing allowance while drafting the pattern. That way it saves me from the risk of not including our sewing allowance. Okay, so now I'll now cut it like this. So if you actually followed up to this point, I give you your flowers. So you see I'm taking my time to cut it. I didn't fast forward this very part so that you get everything I'm doing. So we'll be cutting it off like this, follow it gradually, and cut off this side dart as well. Take your time and cut it patiently. There's just no point rushing everything. Make sure you do it steadily and you achieve all you are supposed to. Okay, so if you really cut it like this, honestly, you while joining it will fit in perfectly. So this side is on fold. Okay, if you're cutting it on your fabric, you make sure the fabric is on fold. So let me indicate it. This is the front pattern. So we now keep this one aside and get a fresh pattern paper. Like I said earlier, I'm using a carbon paper. You might be living in a remote area where you don't have pattern paper. You could always make use of what you have available with you. So in this case, I'm using carbon paper. So I'm coming down by 1 inch just like we did on the front pattern. So from the first line we marked is our shoulder line. We'll now come down. So almost everything we are doing here is similar to the front pattern. Okay, we came down to our bust line by 10 inches from the shoulder line, 10 inches down. So from the shoulder line, I'm marking 17 inches. That's for our waistline. So before I forget, I'm marking out 1.5 inches This 1.5 inches will serve as the the zipper allowance, so that every other measurement will now be starting from the zipper allowance. So let me quickly indicate it so that you don't get confused. So on the shoulder line, we'll mark out the width 3 inches, just like we did for the front pattern. Then we'll now come down for the depth 4 inches as well. So I'm trying to have a similar neckline both on the front and back. So this is just a basic neckline. There are other designs that you could just use. So look at that's where our measurement is starting from. Okay, so on that line we'll be marking 7 inches for the shoulder. That's 14 divided by 2, 7 inches. We'll now come down by 1 inch, just like we did for the front pattern. Okay, everything is almost same, just with few variations. So remember, we're trying to get our chest line, which is 7.5. That is, we divided by 15. We divided 15 by 2. So let me mark it. This is our shoulder line, this is our chest line, this is our bust line, this is our under bust line. You necessarily do not need, no, that's our waist line. You don't need an under bust line here. Okay, shoulder line, chest line, bust line, and waist line. So I'm trying to connect these dots. So this is our bust. 36 divided by 4 is 9 inches. Then to get our armhole cuff, we divide this 7.5 by 2. Then on that point, we now come in by 1/2 inch. I'll connect the 3 dots using our cuff. Then now we come down to our bust line. We divide our nipple to nipple, which is 4 inches. We're marking it on the bust line. Our nipple to nipple, which is 8 inches, divided by 2 is 4 inches. We still mark it on the waist line as well. Then I'll now connect it like this. Just take a look at how I extended it to the chest line. All we're trying to do is to achieve our dart, and this is just a straight dart, not a princess dart as for the back. So from this line, I'll go out by 1/2 inch on both sides. Then I'll now connect the 2 points from our 1/2 inch here. I'll now connect it directly to the chest line. So now we'll be I'll try as much as possible to explain something here which is very very important. So on this zipper allowance side, we have to go in by half an inch. We want to have a kind of slant, because if you look at the nature of our body, our bag around our waist, from our bag, it's not that straight, okay? So we have to go in by half an inch, and look at how I'm connecting it. Okay, it's a bit slanted. Without doing this, when you are trying to fix your zipper, believe me, it's not gonna lie flat on your body, okay? It will be a kind of puffing out, and that wouldn't look good as a professional. So you have to slant it a little by half an inch. Then now we are going to impute our measurement on the waistline, which is 15 divided by 4 is 7.5. I mark it. But remember, we went in by half an inch on the zipper allowance, okay? Half an inch, then 1 inch for the dart, that is 1.5 inches. So I'll now substitute for that on the other side before connecting. The dart all in all is 1 inch. The zipper allowance, on the zipper allowance, we went in by half an inch, which gives us a total of 1.5, and we made provision for it. So from here now we'll mark out our zipper, sorry, our sewing or stitches allowance, which is 1.5 inches. You could make it 2 inches. It's all up to you. So now connect the point like this. So this one is our sewing allowance. So at this point we get our scissors and cut through. Please, while I'm rounding off, I would like to give you this advice for free. Please, please, you don't have the whole time in the world. Stop procrastinating. After watching this video, there's just no point watching or learning this from this tutorial without practicing. So don't procrastinate it. Immediately you're done watching, get your pattern paper, get all the materials needed, and start practicing. Believe me, just start now and get better later. Just keep practicing, okay? That's one of the greatest secrets I can give you here. And also, thank you for watching, and thank you for staying. If you're watching for the first time, like I said, subscribe. And please, if you're a returning subscriber, kindly like this video and help me share to your loved ones and invite them to subscribe as well. Okay? You see? So this does it. It's as simple as A and B and C. Very simple. It's not that difficult. So let me indicate that this is our back pattern. So everything is set now. Thank you for watching. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One love.